The cabin door groaned open in the Colorado dawn, where the Rocky Mountains loomed like silent guardians. Ethan Cole stepped out, tasting the crisp air of freedom, but Harlan Reed waited in the yard, his Smith & Wesson revolver catching the first light. "Morning, Ethan Cole," Harlan drawled, as two more trackers slipped from the tree-line, rifles ready. The ambush was perfect, laid in the dead of night. Ethan's hand twitched near his hip, the same hand that had traced Clara Benson's curves just hours before, the hand that had chosen to linger instead of flee. Behind him, through the frost-laced window, Clara gripped her late husband's Remington shotgun, her fingers steady despite the fear. At 52, with strands of gray weaving through her chestnut hair, Clara had convinced herself that love was a young woman's folly, a fire long extinguished by time and loss. But now, 3 lives hung in the balanced desire clashing with duty. The former sheriff turned bounty hunter, the drifter who'd betrayed his own blood, the widow who'd risked everything for a spark of life. What cost would they bear for one stolen night of raw passion? The answer lay in the frozen dirt, where blood would soon spill. Winter clamped down on Pine Ridge like a vice, the small Colorado town buried under snowdrifts that muffled every sound. Clara Benson chopped firewood in the dying light, her breath-sharp clouds in the biting cold. 8 years since Henry had gone heart attack in the fields, leaving her to the rhythm of isolation. Dawn chores, evening sewing by kerosene lamp, prayers that echoed hollow in the empty house. She glanced at his faded photo on the shelf, then looked away. Some ghost weighed too heavy for twilight. The Remington hung above the fireplace, a layer of dust on its stock. Henry's gun, Henry's ways, Henry's widow even in death. He defined her. The irony stung. A tool for protection, forgotten while threats lurked in these hills like coyotes on the prowl. Fresh boot prints in the snow snagged her eye, leading right to her porch. Night had swallowed the world when the stranger came. Clara heard the labored steps first, then the thud against her door. She froze, iron poker in hand. Decent folk didn't open to strangers after dark, especially not a woman alone. The knock came again, feeble. She hesitated, then turned the bolt. Ethan Cole stumbled in, maybe 28, with the rugged charm of a man who'd seen too many bad roads. Blood soaked his jeans from a thigh wound, snow clumping in his sandy hair. His blue eyes held quiet thanks, no begging. "Ma'am," he rasped, voice like gravel and bourbon. "Just need a spot out of the cold for the night." "No trouble." Clara's eyes flicked to the revolver on his belt, then back to his face. Outlaw, no doubt, but something in those eyes' honest weariness stayed her hand. "One night," she said firmly. "Gun stays outside, and don't feed me lies. I could spot him a mile off." He nodded, unbuckled the belt, and placed it on the rail with care. "Men after me, but I don't draw first on the innocent." Half-truth, maybe, but it sufficed. She guided him to the fireside chair, gathered her mending kit and rags. The bullet had skimmed deep, but not fatal. "This'll sting," she warned, needle ready. "Already does," he grunted. Her hands didn't shake as she stitched steadier than they'd been in years. When had she last tended anyone? Felt useful? Ethan bore it silently, earning her quiet respect. "You'll take the couch," she said, done. "My room door stays shut. We don't breathe a word of this." But as she readied for bed, Clara left her door ajar just enough to hear if he stirred, to catch firelight on his sleeping form, to wonder what it felt like to matter again. Morning broke still and cold. Clara stirred to the rhythmic chop of an axe outside. Through the window, Ethan worked in Henry's old jacket, sleeves riding up on his lanky frame. His leg held, each swing precise and strong. Despite herself, Clara watched the play of muscle under his shirt. She stepped out with coffee. He straightened, sweat beading in the chill. "Didn't want to freeload," he said, taking the mug. "Owe you for the patching." "You owe nothing," she replied. Their fingers brushed linger this time. "Tell me about her," Clara prompted. "Your ma." Ethan's face softened. "Anna Cole. ran a diner in a speck of a Kansas town, could quote Shakespeare while flipping burgers, stretch a pot of stew to feed the whole block. He sipped. Lost her at 17 to pneumonia. She'd have said you got strong eyes. Clara felt a flush. I should head to town for supplies. At Mabel's Mercantile, gossip swirled like dust devils. The shopkeeper, Gladys Harper, eyed Clara's haul. Extra bandages, coffee, molasses. Stocking up for one. Clara? Harsh winter. Just cautious, Clara said evenly. In the corner, a stranger watched tall, scarred, predator still. Their eyes met. He tipped his hat, but his stare chilled her bones. She rushed home. Ethan was fixing the barn latch, sleeves rolled, arms scarred from old fights. Heard horses earlier, he said, not looking up. Keep that Remington handy. Hunters, or nerves. He tested the repair, then they stood close to close. Staying endangers you, Clara. Can't have that. Her name on his lips warmed her. What if I'm not ready for you to leave? His eyes darkened. I'm no man to pin hopes on. I'll decide that. The afternoon hummed with tension. Clara showed him her herbal remedy for wounds. Ethan taught her to load and clean a Remington. Taught flowed books she devoured, trails he'd wandered skirting secrets. As dusk fell, he pushed for shooting practice in the clearing, just in case. But it was pretext, his hands on hers, breath hot on her neck as he coached her aim. Her third shot hit the can. Yes, Clara laughed, joy bubbling free after years. Ethan grinned, eyes on her glowing face. Natural talent. The air crackled. His thumb grazed her cheek. Clara. She leaned in. I'm not scared of you. You should be. But fear melted as his lips met hers soft, then fierce. She clung to him, tasting life anew. They broke apart, breathless. The shotgun lay in the snow. Inside, Ethan growled. Clara nodded, slipping her wedding band into her pocket-cold metal, but her blood ran hot. But fire like this drew shadows, and eyes watched from the pines. That night, the cabin pulsed with energy. Clara cooked with shaky hands, every brush electric. After supper, by the fire, shadows danced intimate. Something real, Clara urged. Ethan stared into flames. Killed a gambler in Denver Jenkins, fleecing miners. He drew first. His jaw set. Worse, had a buddy, Sam Wilkins. We hit a freight train near Boulder Knot for greed, but folks starving, railroad boss hoarding coal. His voice dropped. Pinkertons came. I bolted, left Sam to swing from a rope in the square. Coward move. Clara took his hand. You're no coward now. Ow. You're here, risking for me. Firelight gilded her hair. You're beautiful. I'm past my prime. Most alive woman I've known. This kiss ignited no holding back. His lips mapped her neck. She unbuttoned his shirt. Control shattered. He carried her to bed, moonlight bathing her as he undressed her waist, breasts, thighs. Perfect, he murmured, mouth teasing peaks until she arched, gasping. Fingers explored lower, pleasure building like a storm. Please, she begged. Hoofbeats thundered riders closing fast. Ethan sprang up, dressing. Through the window, 3 men, leader the store's stranger, now badged. Clara shoved him to the root cellar. Harlan Reed's boots hit the porch as she smoothed her dress and answered. Evening, Mrs. Benson. Harlan pushed in, eyes sweeping. 2 mugs, Remington now ready. Tracking a killer. Ethan Coltall, blue eyes. No. Harlan smiled, chilled. Lies stink like rot. Her hand neared the gun. Leave. He studied, then slammed his knife into the jam near her head. Law finds its way. He vanished into night. Clara collapsed, hauled Ethan out. No words, lips crashed, hands frantic. Corset unlaced, skin bared in fireglow. 8 years untouched. Ethan gentle yet urgent, mouth on her neck, fingers charting desire. They tangled on the rug, desperate, tender. She cried out as he entered, loneliness shattering. After, she lay on his chest, his fingers tracing her back. They slept entwined, but dawn brought dread. Ethan dressed. Clara packed food. Heart cracking. I gotta go. Henry's coat, take it. Come with me. West, Oregon New Start. Clara glimpsed her reflection. Lines, softness of age. Too old for that. Not for living. He kissed her goodbye tender. The door swung. Harlan in the yard, revolver aimed. Ethan Cole. Two trackers flanked, rifles up. The trap sprung while they loved. Clara emerged, Remington ready. Let him go. Harlan barked a laugh. Harboring a fugitive? Could haul you too. Ethan eased. She's innocent. Looks guilty. Harlan eyed the coat, her disheveled state. What's she worth? Everything. Then surrender trial. Noose. Clara's grip tightened. Ethan met her eyes, love, sorrow. Once a runner, now he'd stand. The air froze. Ethan's hand dropped. He drew lightning fast. But Harlan, ex-lawman for 20 years, fired first chest hit. Ethan spun down, blood staining snow red. No! Clara screamed, rushing to him, gun dropped. Ethan didn't run. He whispered, hand in hers slick. Eyes shut, he stilled. Tears flooded 8 years dry, now a torrent. Pride mixed with grief. He'd chosen a fight. Harlan approached, gun drawn. Should arrest you. Then do it, she spat. Something softened in him. Laws bend sometimes. He closed Ethan's eyes gently. See only a widow here. Bury him, good coyotes prowl. They rode off, silence descending. Clara buried Ethan in the clearing where they'd shot cans, marking with his blue kerchief on a pine. Pine Ridge whispered questions, glad as pride with pies, but Clara stonewalled. Changes came subtle. Remington oiled and loaded, yellow daisies in boxes first since Henry. Monthly trips to Denver for novels, silks, treats denied. No ring on her finger. Spring thawed late, streams rushing. Clara stood on her porch, birdsong filling air, kerchief faded but waving. Ethan lingered in memories as touch, voice, choice to stay. Some loves spanned decades, others moments. Both reshaped her. Clara Benson lived 25 more years there, never remarrying, but never alone as flame, eternal under Colorado earth. What do you think? Should Clara have turned Ethan in from the start? Or was her risk worth it? Share your take in the comments. Was love justified despite the danger, or reckless? Let's debate.